What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Marshall Time, episode 35. The NBA playoffs in full swing. And last night, bro, probably obviously the biggest two games so far of the first round. Feeling different ways if you're a Sixers fan, if you're a Nuggets fan, Lakers fan, or a Knicks fan. Two different feelings from both sides. First, we have to address the obvious, the ending of that Sixers Knicks game. There are a lot of question marks about the lack of foul calls, the lack of a timeout called for Nick Nurse and the Sixers. And so this was the 2 minute report that the league sends out after every game as far as capturing the missed calls from the refs, calls that should have been made. And pretty much it just confirms what everyone saw and everyone's been talking about. So this is the last 2 minute report from the Philly New York game last night. Josh Hart fouled Tyrese Maxey on the inbounds, leading to a Knicks steal and basket. Jalen Brunson pulled on Maxey's jersey, and it should have been a foul. That was towards the end of the game. And Nick Nurse should have gotten a timeout once again. That was toward the end of the game, which is what everyone's been talking about. And so, first off, we'll talk about the obvious. The refs blew it. I mean, we didn't need to see the replay to see that Tyrese Maxey was held. There's a lot of grabbing going on. But making it even more worse was Nick Nurse coming to find out that he was actually trying to call a timeout. And in the replay, he was trying to call it multiple times. And so, once again, in a time where we're already questioning the integrity of the game with players and refs when it comes to betting, it makes you wonder, like, okay, what's really going on now with these refs? Because these are calls that you can't mess up come playoff time, right? I get it. It's not an easy job. It's loud in MSG. It's intense, but you have a job to do. You get paid well to call these games. And if these are the best crews that the league has to offer, you can't mess up once, okay, twice, but obviously last night was just it was ridiculous. And so we'll talk about the Sixers and what part they played. But last night for the refs, once again, another example that they're not doing their job. And it bothers me because, okay, I don't even care about this report because now what? Now, what do we do with this information? We knew it was trash. We knew it was wrong, but we're not running it back. A loss is a loss. You know what I mean? So what consequence do the refs get from not doing their job and messing up? That's the biggest question that I think as fans and as media members, we have to wonder and ask because I don't see it because we continue to see trash calls from these refs who are considered to be the best at what they do.
Yeah, man. It's just unacceptable, plain and simple. It's funny because when this happened, I thought to myself, I said, I can't wait to see the 2 minute report tomorrow, and they tell us, oh, a foul should have been called here. And this happened to the Sixers all throughout the season. Like they showed the graphic, we were the number one team when it came to being disserviced, by the 2 minute report and showing, mistaken calls were made, calls weren't made, the wrong calls were made, those sort of things. And same thing even happened back when we played the Clippers, in March, I think. And that was a game. If we would have won that game, we wouldn't have had to been on the play-in. You know what I mean? So we would be the sixth seed right there, playing the third seed, which is a whole different scenario in the season. It's just unacceptable, man. And to see it routinely happen to the Sixers is kind of crazy. You know what I mean? It's really bad to see. Like a lot of people say Embiid gets calls, which he does, but nobody looks on the upper end. Like look at the whole team. The whole team, we do not get calls as a whole. Like another thing is too, I've seen a lot of people using the argument that it's playoff basketball. They're not calling that in the playoffs. That's a lie. Because I saw in that next game, I saw them give the Knicks certain calls that weren't that egregious, that weren't that serious. They gave him a tech when he tried to shove Josh Hart out of his way, but it wasn't like he didn't aggressively push Josh Hart. He was just he had the ball in between him and Josh Hart. It's a playoff game. It's intense. Get off me real quick. He ain't throw a punch at him. They give him a tech for that. It's just it seems like they're picking and choosing, and I know people are going to say, it's a 48-minute game. One play doesn't decide the game, but in the grand scheme of things, well, we were up 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard ball, 27 seconds left. You have to foul eventually, right? If you're going to get a turnover, you have to do it legally, which they didn't. They're grabbing jerseys, they're pushing players to the ground, and I also think that even the Sixers themselves, I think some of the players felt like it was a foul because you could see they just like it was like a split second there where you could see everybody just stop moving because they're looking at it like what is going on. And even honestly, if you didn't call a foul when Maxi fell, that's a travel. You can't fall with the ball and fall on top of the ball. That's a travel. So if anything, they should have called a travel there, and then the Knicks get the ball and they have to score. Not an easy, now we're scrambling on defense and shooting threes, and people are breaking. And Dante gets Hartenstein gets the rebound, kicks it out to Dante. So it's just a mess, man. It's a mess.
So both things can be true, right? The refs could have been trash last night and blew their job, and the Sixers also blew it, right? So I'm not. My message tonight and throughout the day, just talking to people, texting other Sixers fans and other basketball fans, has been like, look, the refs miss calls, but I'm not one to fully blame the refs. Like I think that's corny in a sense, because we'll talk about the Lakers and what LeBron and D'Lo talked about last night, because that's a totally different case. They have no excuse, and we'll go in on them. But the Sixers, I'm looking at Tobias Harris, 10 points in the first half, but 0 in the second half. Once again, proven to be soft mentally, not getting the job done. No presence, no energy. You got to sit. Kelly Oubre, 4 points. Buddy Hield, 2 points. First time in the playoffs, and he looks scary. And so for me, going into this matchup, I knew it. I said the Knicks play hard. Yes, all this talk about the Sixers being more talented, I could care less come playoff time. Are you going to make the big hustle plays? Are you going to make the small plays that really matter in the end? And the Sixers team routinely over the years come playoff time haven't shown me anything of that nature. That's why we have a Josh Hart, a Dante DiVincenzo, Isaiah Hartenstein making big plays routinely in these first two games. And so the lack of hustle, the lack of mental focus throughout cost them the game. You gave the refs the opportunity to blow the game for you. And for that, you failed as a team. Not Joel Embiid, not Tyrese Maxey, the role players. Nicholas Batum had 6 points. Buddy Hield had 2 points. At this point, if you're not making shots, if you're Buddy Hield, what are you bringing to the court? You're not a ball handler. You're not distributing. You're not defending. To me, you're just a waste of space. And so why not give KJ Martin opportunities? Why not give Ricky Council opportunities? At least we know they're going to defend and hustle. And Tobias Harris, to me, looks like he has 1 foot out the door. He can go. Kyle Lowry, he's a little older now, but what he's given me is at least energy and a presence out there. I can see, okay, at least he's trying at a point where he shouldn't be playing these many minutes at this point in his career. But at this point, he's the only guy outside of Embiid and Maxey that has a pulse out there. The rest of these guys, I can't rely on them. And so they're saying the Sixers are a better team, but are they really? Outside of Joel Embiid and Maxey, okay, that cancels out what Brunson does because they're missing Julius Randle. But the role players on the Knicks, to me, are better. I would take DiVincenzo and Josh Hart over any other role player we have on the Sixers. And that's it. So to me, at this point, the Knicks play harder. They execute in intense moments. To me, that's the better team. Forget what the paper says. I don't care. What do the results say? And that's why they're down 0-2. If they lose game 3, series is over.
Yeah, I just want to give a credit to all the Knicks role players because we're treating them like they're bums, and I hate to see it. We're making their job way too easy, just from an X's and O's standpoint. Just like basketball, I feel like coaches tend to make the game too complicated, man. Like Jalen Brunson, he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. I love Jalen Brunson. I'm a Nova fan. Anybody that knows me knows I love my Nova players. I love Jalen Brunson. Cool. Reality is Jalen Brunson is 6 foot. He has 6'8" Kelly Oubre on him. At times he's had 6'8", 6'7" Tobias Harris on him. At times he's had 6'8" Nicholas Batum on him, right? Jalen Brunson is not the fastest guy. The basic basketball defense is stay in front of your man, slide your feet, beat him to his spot, and contest, make him a jump shooter, make him shoot over you, right? For some reason, I'm watching us feel like we have to double him or over help towards him, over commit towards him too much every time down. And we're giving guys like Josh Hart open shots. This is the playoffs, man. Throw them numbers out the window. I don't care that Josh Hart shot 30% in the regular season. We saw Josh Hart at Villanova. We saw what he could do. He's a gamer. He shows up in big games. Look at his jump shot. His jump shot is not broke. Like when I watch him shoot, I don't be like, ew, that's ugly. Like you can tell he has a fundamentally sound jump shot. Follow through is there. He gets lift on his shot. He has a good alignment on his elbow. Why are you just blatantly leaving him open? Game 1, we left him open, let him get hot. He started making anything. The first half yesterday, we did the same thing. Let him get hot. Before the end of the half, they go on a run, and the biggest play of that run is him making a pull-up 3 in transition because we let him get hot. Same thing with Dante DiVincenzo. Even though he's known as a better shooter, even makes Miles McBride game 1. Even Bogdanovich got in and got some threes off. And I'm like, bro, what is going on here? Why are we leaving? It's 2024 in the NBA. Like, why are we leaving people open? Everybody, I'm not going to say everybody, but the majority of the league, if you give them enough time and enough looks, they're going to knock a couple threes down, especially at the guard and forward position.
Because once that confidence is up, they're going to
get going. The game is, and they're playing at home. They're playing at home. These Villanova guys, they're playing with each other. They're inspired. Why? See, that's the difference. When I watch the game, our role players, they're not letting our role players get off. They're not leaving Buddy Hield open. They're in Buddy Hield's chest. And I know Buddy Hield's known as a shooter, but they're not even thinking about leaving him open. Same with Oubre. They're not leaving Oubre open like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't get it.
One thing about it.
I know what the basic theory is. You take Jalen Brunson out of the game, you should win. But through 2 games, they've shown you that that's not really the case. These guys can play ball. And in that fourth quarter, I saw us overcommit less. I'll give props to Nick Nurse because he made that adjustment. I saw us overcommit less, and we went on a run, and we took control of that game. And we ended up losing. You know, we talked about why we lost. We talked about how we lost. We talked about that. That's cool. So from here on out, I want us to actually stick to that game plan. Let's stop giving Josh Hart so many open looks. All right, you can gamble every once in a while, but don't treat him like Ben Simmons. Like, why are we acting like this guy's some just broken jump shooter? Everything he throws up is going to be a brick. What are we doing?
Yeah,
that's my gripe with the whole thing.
Yeah, like I said, thing about it is with the Sixers, outside of Maxey and B, the rest of the guys, I'll give Lowry some credit. He's doing more than what he should have to do at this point in his career. But the rest of the guys, there's no energy. You know, even if a Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo are off, you know, there's a certain level of effort that they're going to give. Tobias Harris, half the time, I don't even notice him being out there. Like, I see his name on the stat sheet, but where is he? You know what I mean? And you talk about adjustments. If I'm Nick Nurse, what's the point of having a Buddy Hield in the game at this point, right? Like, what's the risk giving a KJ Martin or Ricky Council an opportunity to see what they can do? Because we saw Deuce McBride, who nobody expected to have any type of impact in this series. We saw he's made a couple shots. He had a big play last night, taking the ball away from Maxey. You know what I mean? Like, so just tough plays that the Knicks routinely make that I don't see from the Sixers. And Embiid has been great. We know what the knee injury situation is. Because of that, this is what's giving me concern. He won't be able to be the defensive presence that he has been. That's why we're getting killed on the boards, because he can't jump. He can't make the effort. And at the end of the day, as a teammate, you got to help him out. Either that, or maybe Embiid just has to just fight through it. I don't know. It's a tough situation because it's like, if you're out there, you're out there. If you're hurt, don't play. And so I want to be delicate with the Embiid situation because he's been playing great. But on the flip side, as players, we've been told if you're hurt, don't play. If you're out there, you're out there. No excuse. And so for me, there's no excuse for not to have any effort. If you're playing, I expect effort regardless. But if you can't give a full effort, then don't be out there. Bottom line. So we'll see game 3. I do think we'll be able to at least win 1 in Philly, but I just don't know. I can't trust Tobias Harris to give me even 15 points his season average. I can't trust Buddy Hield to not be scary out there in this first playoff series. You know what I mean? Kelly Oubre is too erratic. I don't know. So we'll see. Maybe the home court will make it easier for those guys, but they got to show me. They got to show me.
Tobias is scared out there when he plays at home.
He's been scary.
He misses his first shot. If he misses his first shot at Wells Fargo Center, it's over. He has to make the first shot.
There's been reports that Detroit wants to sign him. Look, as Sixers fans, we'll start a GoFundMe. We'll pay for the plane ticket. We'll drive him. We'll order his Uber to the airport. Like, please. Because it was disrespectful what he said early in the season to fans. You know, you remember that, right?
what the crumble cookie line.
As Sixers fans have no idea what they're talking about. They will probably trade me for a crumble cookie, and we would.
It's crazy because I'm one that would defend Tobias. Like because the one thing I'll say about Tobias is his role has always changed year to year on this team. Sometimes he's the fourth option. Sometimes he's the third. Sometimes when guys are out, he's the first. And I've seen him, try to fit into different roles well, and he handled it like a pro. But at this point,
you can't
listen,
defend
man,
him.
You've had the same role all year. You know what it is.
At a certain point,
yeah, and when you can tell when a player is out of it mentally, and that's the part that's concerning for me because we all know he can play better than what he's showing. We've seen it, but mentally he's not there. Them boos are getting to his head. The media's getting to his head. Everybody's not built to play in Philly. We've talked about this before, and he's just not one of them. And it is what it is.
He's the most average NBA player I've seen. Like his career averages are average. His athleticism is average.
Yeah.
His shooting is average.
Yeah.
His ball handling is average.
everything
but that contract is not average.
Yeah.
He signed a $180 million deal to give me 10 points and to score 0 points in the second half. You know how I felt. I've been on Tobias for years.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for people to come on over. People finally this is what I've been talking. When you need Tobias to step up, he doesn't. He'll have a 20-point game when it really doesn't matter. It's like, oh, okay. But when we really need you to tip the scales for us, you disappear. He's a front runner. First half, things are going well, but when things are really intense, the pressure's on, the crowd's getting into it, you disappear. And so the beautiful thing about the season ending for the Sixers is that Tobias Harris will no longer be a Philadelphia 76er. It is what it is. As a fan, as a media member, I judge you off of how much you're getting paid. As a player, you're getting paid max dollars. I expect max production. Call it fair or not, but that's what you were getting paid to do, and you're not doing it. Now to the Lakers. 20-point lead in Denver. You know you need to still one at home, still one on Denver's home court, and you blew it. And after the game, LeBron has to criticize the refs. D'Lo's getting on Twitter saying we all saw the foul. All I saw was a 20-point lead evaporate in Denver. All I saw was Jamal Murray, Canada's finest, doing it to LA. That's all I saw. And so once again, Denver's showing the Lakers once again that they're a better team when it comes to execution, focus, toughness. The Lakers are not there. And this series is over. And the series was lost last night. I don't know how you come back from that. They may win one in LA, but the Lakers just aren't a serious team. You can blame the refs. You can blame this. You can blame that. But I can pinpoint multiple times in a half-court offense where they just look confused and they're making bad decisions. And this is what the Lakers have been for the last couple years. We know how this story ends. People have to talk themselves into saying, well, LeBron and AD this and that. Well, okay, AD had a great game. LeBron had a great game. Even D'Lo had a great game. But Austin Reeves is who we thought he was. They tried to prop him up to be this third star, but he is not it. Rui Hachimura had 3 points. And then you get 6 points off your bench from Taurean Prince. No. So Denver's the champion for a reason. The Lakers can't match up in any way. Whenever the Joker wants to baby AD, like he does everybody, he's going to do it because AD is spent by the fourth quarter. They have no answer. So don't blame the refs, LeBron or D'Lo. Blame your coach and blame your lack of execution in the half court. And blame Denver for being a well-coached and better team. Simple as that.
Well put. I mean, that's really all it is to it. And the Lakers, I mean, it was some questionable calls. We're not going to deny that. That's every game in the NBA. But it's different. The difference between us and them is they had a 20-point lead.
In the second half, you had a 20-point lead.
20-point lead in the second half, right? Another thing, too, is LeBron had an open look to end the game, basically.
Thank you.
He had the shot. And truthfully, they could have called an offensive foul on Bron right there, too. They didn't. They let it go. It's Bron, and it's a late game situation. You know how that goes. The ref said, no, we're going to let him take the shot. It rimmed out. Y'all missed. Came back down. Dagger by Jamal. It is what it is. It's the truth. And the reality is, like you said, the bad thing for me is Denver didn't shoot well from three last night. D'Lo played good. AD killed the first half, and Bron killed the second half. Mm-hmm. So you check most of the boxes when it comes to playing any basketball team. You got production from your best scorers, you got production from your best players, and you held the team. You limited their offensive output, their firepower. Look limited their 3-point percentage, but you still lost, and that's because at the end of the day, Denver's just a better team. It's just that simple. Now LA's going to get two at home. A game like that they lost last night, 20-point lead. That's a dagger to me. I don't know if they're going to win one at LA because Denver. We know Denver. They're hungry, and I also saved me with like the AD with the. My gripe is with AD. He had what 30 points in the first half, right? Or 28. He had a lot of points in the first half.
No show in the fourth.
He wasn't. He did nothing in the second half. I know people say he was in foul trouble, but that fourth quarter, he was out there for about the last 6 to 7 minutes, and he missed his last 6 shots. Jokic put him in the post a few times, gave him a few buckets. Jamal was hunting him on those screens. It happened, and AD sat up there. I saw the quote where he was talking about the league doesn't like me. And he was talking about how he didn't finish for Defensive Player of the Year finalist. Okay, so show us right now why you should be Defensive Player of the Year in the mix. And don't get me wrong, he's a great defender. But last night, whoever didn't vote for him, I bet you they felt justified. They felt justified. Whoever didn't vote for him to be Defensive Player of the Year, they felt justified last night by watching that game. So he can miss me. And the Lakers, they've been talking about this Nuggets matchup since the beginning of this season. AD's. I remember the quote with AD and Brian. He was talking about, me and Brian talk about playing the Nuggets all the time. We can't wait.
They don't want that problem.
You got guys in the media saying, "Oh, the Lakers should look to play the Nuggets first round, catch them early while you have energy." You want to catch them in the first round and get swept round one? You want that on your resume, Brian?
The crazy thing is Denver hasn't even played their best basketball, like a full game.
Jamal was terrible last night until the fourth.
But it's so cold because you're watching this game and you're like, this lead isn't safe. They're going to blow this lead. You're just waiting for it because Denver has another level that they can tap into. And once they turn that on, they don't panic. They're like, we're going to keep doing what we do. We have Joker. Like, we're going to be all right because we have that one guy. Once he decides to attack, there's nothing you can do. Nobody, even AD. There's nothing you can do. And I'm sorry, AD, if you want to be praised as this great player, two-way player, in the clutch moments, we judge our greats on what they do in the clutch in the playoffs. And, like, that's just what it is. So miss me with any excuse. I don't care if you're tired. You're out there. Everybody's tired. Step up. Make a play.
Just shout out to the Nuggets, man. Like,
I love it.
I just don't know who's really going to beat them. Like, it's teams that could beat them, but are they really going to do it? It's like you got to be locked in 48 minutes of basketball, and then Jamal, man, like that right there. That's for all my analytics people.
Mm-hmm.
That's for all of my regular season stat guys, my James Harden lovers. Give me playoff Jamal over James Harden any day. Any day.
Oh, easily.
But see, people won't say that.
Easily.
I mean, maybe now they will, but last year people wouldn't have said that. But the thing is, I watched Jamal. See, there's between a guy like Jamal and a guy like Harden. Jamal shot bad all game, but he said, "You know what? It's fourth quarter. They gonna start falling. I'm gonna get to the rim, see a couple shots go through, and it's up."
Yeah,
I've never seen I've seen James Harden miss. He's had some good playoff games, but in the biggest games, I see him shrink.
Yeah,
he's not the only one. A lot of guys like that.
Mentally, he like you said, he shrinks. Jamal Murray and guys like that, they don't care. They're gonna keep shooting. You know what I mean? And so
I was just happy to see that, man. That's for all my analytics people, my regular season, my stat guys. You can't put a price on ice and veins.
Oh yeah,
with Jamal, you can't measure that. You just gotta watch it.
My favorite thing about the playoffs is that certain things that people decide to ignore what they've seen throughout the year from a team, right? Like, or even the past from a team. The Sixers, for example, right? We've seen this team shrink mentally throughout the years. It hasn't changed. The Lakers, throughout the past couple of years, they've been one of the funniest teams to watch in the league because you know how this story ends. The reason why you're in this position in the first place to have to be in the play-in and play Denver, you lost to the Bulls and the Spurs and back in December. You gave away games. And so you play around during the regular season, and this is what you get. You play games, you get the championship. So that's just what it is. And so that series is over. I'll say Nuggets in 5. I'll give the Lakers. It's hard to sweep. I'll give Lakers a win in LA. I wouldn't be shocked if they swept them, but I'll give them a win in LA. But that series is over. I know teams try to talk themselves into it, but it's over. I think we're on the Denver Boston track. That's what I feel. Nothing I've seen so far in these playoffs is making me change my mind. I don't think the East is really serious. We'll see what happens with the Bucks if Giannis comes back, but the Celtics should breeze through whatever the Eastern Conference is talking about. Denver will have a challenge, obviously, because the West has some, they got some squads. But I think it'll be Denver, Boston. What we should have got last year, we're going to get this year. That's my prediction just to end.
I ain't counting. No, I'm not counting out the Bucks. Even though it's been one game against the Pacers, I saw Dame look locked in. The question is,
can he play with Giannis?
Yeah, if he does that with Giannis, though.
And Doc Rivers is the coach. Remember that. So
yeah. But if Dame is balling like that with Giannis, I don't know what Doc can really do to mess that up. That's just how.
If he's balling like that with Giannis,
yeah.
Giannis changed the whole dynamic.
Yeah, I know, but hopefully Giannis sitting back and watching that is like. And I seen they said this during the game. Doc said he feels like Lillard needs the ball in his hands more, especially in this time of the year.
That's what he's used to in Portland, yeah.
And I agree with him because Giannis, in the half court, he's not, he's a good player, but Dame's better in the half court. It's the reality.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So they definitely got to be respected. I feel like Boston's locked in. I think they got a point to prove. Porzingis is the key. They just got to keep him healthy. But Tatum has to step up. Brown has to step up. But we'll see. Just the first round, we got a lot of basketball to see, a lot of basketball to talk about. Thank you guys for joining us once again. Don't forget, Apple Podcasts. We're on YouTube. Check us out. We'll be back next week.
Peace out.